Thank you, Al. That's Al Peterson. We also have one more reader, Charley Vivian.
Some of these are hard acts to follow. I'm kind of a stranger here at the kind invitation of a friend who is Hardy Bledsoe's mother. When I was told that, you know, if I'd like to read, I might, I thought of a couple of poems. Both happen to be sonnets, like that poem of Mrs. Browning's we read a little while ago. One of them is my own, one of them is by a real poet. I thought maybe I should do my own first, because the other way around would sure as heck be anticlimactic. My own, if I can say just a word about it, came to me after I spent a little time in the harbor in Honolulu, if you please. You see cruise ships there, and you see people standing, you know, on the decks of the cruise ships, throwing money into the water, and there are guys that, you know, that dive and retrieve the money that you throw in. So that's kind of the background of this. You'll see who gets the role of the tourist who is throwing the money. The same guy who half an hour or so ago rolled over in his sleep. So it's like this. God, wearing a flowered shirt and lei, stands on the upper deck. I, down below, swimming in the green water of the bay, look upward carefully and watch him throw one at a time bright golden coins to me. Some I can catch and hold them in my hand, wet in the sunlight, shining brilliantly. Although to keep them, bring them back to land, this is against his edict. At the last, I have to let them go and watch them sink, shimmering slowly, down into the vast abyss. As their last glimmer fades, I think, oh, shining things, why do you disappear and leave the world without your brightness here? The other one. The other one, the one, but the real poet is the guy, let's see, whom Robert Parker uses sort of as the namesake for his detective, the English poet Spenser with an S. This is about as old as Chris's Macbeth. This is about 400 years old. But if there are, somebody said, 1 billion poems about utopia, there are almost that many dating from about that time, as you may know, in which the voice that we hear in the poem says to somebody, in effect, he says, I love you, but you will die. However, I am writing this poem about you, and therefore, in a sense, you will not die. Again, there are lots and lots of poems like that, some by Shakespeare, you know, in black ink, my love may still shine bright, and so on. But this particular one by Spenser seems to be especially charming. It is almost as though, although this poem is 400 years old, he might have been on the beach at you know, Nantasket or in Nahant or someplace like that. Anyway, this is the way it goes. One day I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. Again I wrote it with a second hand, but came the tide and made my pains his prey. Vain man, quod she, that dost in vain assay a mortal thing, so to immortalize. For I myself shall, like to this, decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. Not so, quod I. Let baser things devise to die in dust. But you shall live in fame. My verse your virtues rare shall eternize, and in the heavens write your glorious name, where, when as death shall all the world subdue, our love shall live and later life renew. That's it.
That was Charley Vivian.
One time Sandy Castle made a remark about this microphone which belongs to the segment. Tomorrow night at the New Writers Collective at 565 Boylston Street, we'll have David Schuster as the featured reader. And he'll read a half hour, and at that night, as usual, we'll have the floor open for open readings of going for an hour and a half. And next week, Buddha, a.k.a. Damon Megas, will be the key speaker next week.
Next week, for our feature readers, we have Nico Suarez, this guy that I've never heard of before, this guy, Jack Powers. Jack Powers. A fine poet, and we all know and love. A fine human being. That's right. Yeah. But anyway, in closing tonight, I'd like to reiterate that it's you, everybody makes this come here, bring your poems. Somebody's reading somebody else, some of the greats, and some of the other folks. People bring their poems and reading them and stuff, and coming here and participating. And also, I'd like to special welcome and thanks to newcomers. People come for the first time, and please, if you feel so inspired, please return and bring some of your own poems in the future. Feel free to take a stand here for poetry. So thanks again, and come back next week.